Hello, everybody. It is late Sunday night. It's been a great, relaxing weekend for me, and the day got away from me, and it's like, oh no, it's after 11 o'clock Sunday night. I guess I probably better do this week's video, and I apologize, but here's your warning ahead of time. This week is a little bit longer than usual because I'm going to give you a report on what we know about the superintendent's action plan. And what it means for us at the building level. So this week it's pushing 15 minutes, and I apologize up front, but it's important stuff. So let's jump right into that, to the superintendent's plan. What does it mean for us at the L&N? Well, the first thing is that, and you received this in an email straight from him as a staff mass email last week, but just to reiterate, we are... As a system, we opted out of optional park field testing of items this year, so we won't be doing any of that. But what affects us directly is the writing assessment. We will be doing it in 11th grade because that's required by the state. And our testing date is on February 3rd, which is a week from Tuesday. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. But we do not have to do the optional grades that the system was considering, which were 9th and 10th grades. And even though I know you're like me and I'd like to see the data and see how the kids do, the restrictions they put on the test are just... they're just prohibitive. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But anyway, so we're only going to do the writing assessment grading for 11th grade, but it is every 11th grader. And the last thing is on assessment, they're making Discovery Ed assessments, the benchmark testing, a PLC decision at every school. So we'll be touching base with you and your content level and your plan period PLCs to talk about, is this investment of time worth it? And I know Tim is going to talk with you guys at one of the faculty meetings about mining Discovery Ed for some things that are there, some resources and things we could be doing that we're not taking advantage of right now. So the big thing that's going to impact us is in evaluations. Unannounced doesn't necessarily mean unannounced for this spring only. It's a one-time, once-in-a-lifetime deal where we want to try to reduce stress on teachers. So your unannounced observations, you're going to know as of February 1st, you're going to know what month or what 4-week window your unannounced observations will fall in for the spring. So by February 1st, if you're professionally licensed, you should be getting an email from each person who still has you on their evaluation roster, and that could be the people doing your environment walkthrough as well as the unannounced instructional environment, if you still need that one. For apprentice, we probably, as a matter of fact, I'm sure for apprentice, we still have an announce to do with you, and again, we collaborate and work between the evaluator's schedule and what you would choose. And my understanding is that you're smart people, and the evaluations are spread out, so they're 2 to 4 weeks apart. So it's pretty much, if you're an apprentice, somebody's going to be in your classroom at least once a month in February, March, and April, because the deadline for all of them to be done is April 30th, and nobody should have more than 3 observations still left to go. So, so you're not going to be notified. And I just noticed I didn't finish my thought on the slide, but at the beginning of next year, when you have your beginning of year conferences and you sit down with us, one of the pieces of that conference is going to be, as a professionally licensed educator, one of the pieces of the conference will be to choose. You can either have both of your observations unannounced as a professionally licensed, or you can have one announced and one unannounced. So it's going to be your choice next year, and that's the long-term solution to it. And I don't think it'll be the last change we see in evaluations. But as you know, those are actually mostly state level decisions. The parts that are left are mostly state level and not local. So again, you can go back and read the superintendent's email yourself. It's there for your reference. That's the best of my understanding after we had a clarifying meeting with the superintendent and all principals last Friday, and we'll just see what happens. And that's as know as much as I do. So if you have any questions, we'll figure it out together. So this is going to be a really busy week around the station, and it's not because there's so much going on. It's because there's so much going on outside of school. I am out this Tuesday through Thursday, and it's not like I'm not saying that because I know that whether I'm there or not, you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing. I don't have that problem. I don't have that lack of trust with you, but you need to know that administration is going to be shorthanded, and we're going to be tag teaming it this week. So I'm asking all hands on deck, help out where and when you can. I'm going to be actually in Denver. Please send me good karma that I have no travel hiccups, because I'm flying out very early Tuesday morning and coming back very late Thursday night in order to not miss as much school as possible. And that's a cognitive coaching training that I'm going to. Then, because I'm going to be in Denver, Jason's going to be at the principals meeting, and that they've already told us is an all-day meeting on Tuesday. So you got Jason and I both out of the building on Tuesday, so Tim's going to need lots of help, lots of support. And then Tim and a crew of 5 others are going to be headed out for FETC, which is the Florida Education Technology Conference, for the last half of the week. And that's, I just have to stop for a second and recognize that as far as we know, we're the only school in Knox County that sends not just attendees, we send presenters. Everybody who's going is presenting either a session, a big workshop session, or a poster presentation. And I just have to say, FETC is an international conference, and it's the entry point for most teachers and most systems into the national landscape of instructional technology. And I'm not aware of any of our system folks in technology who were accepted to present. So, I just got to stop and brag on our folks for a minute. And I hope you enjoy your days in the sun, literally, while you're down there in Orlando. And I know that the rest of the faculty joined me in saying we look forward to hearing and seeing what you bring back with you in terms of, new ideas of where we need to go next. And yeah, that's my dog playing with the bone that he just flipping all over the floor. So the only thing that should actually interfere or change schedules this week in terms of classes and bell schedules is Thursday the 30th. During 4th period only, we're going to have a mini college fair set up in the Commons. And, hats off to Sarah and Alicia and Lynn for putting this together. She's got, I read the list and I forgot to count. I think it's upwards of 20 different colleges and universities that are going to be there in the Commons with materials for our students. There'll be a special workshop, kind of come in and let us help walk you through the process, learning how to fill out the FAFSA that will happen in the Media Center during the same time. And Sarah sent you an email about this past week, and it's basically during 4th period we're going to dismiss students in 30-minute increments by intercom by grade level. So if you have a class that's mixed grades, it's up to you if you want to send the appropriate grades down and stay in the room with the rest of the students. But please don't just send your whole class, because you know the size of our Commons, and if we've got 20 exhibitors down there and 150 juniors or 150 sophomores, we're already pushing capacity, so we don't need extra bodies in there. But each group of students will have 30 minutes to make their way around the Commons and get information. And seniors, we still have seniors who are applying at places, so that's why they're going. Juniors, this is their prime season. They need to be identifying where they're really interested in and looking into what does it take to apply. And sophomores, we just want to get it in their heads that's their goal, that it's all about being college ready and knowing what's there. So you might actually, if you could, spend a couple minutes maybe in your advisories talking about the kinds of things they could expect to learn from the college fair. I know last year we did an advisory lesson prior to the college fair, talking about what kinds of questions to ask the people that were exhibiting. So that kind of thing would be really great. And this is also a verbal reminder to Tim and the others who work on advisory that that might be a good lesson to push out this week before the the college fair on Thursday. It's one of those things, I think, having that goal of this is where I want to go, not just, I want to major in this, but this is a real place where I can go and I can go to their website and see what they require. If we can get a few more sophomores thinking that way, we might not have as many on our target list as juniors, where we're starting to sweat that they're not going to make it and not going to graduate. So it's one of those things, 30 minutes out of your class this week might save us big headaches down the road when they get on to junior and senior level. So outside of having so many revolving doors of people, it'll actually be a pretty calm week, I hope. And of course, thank heavens the full moon was a week ago, so you don't have that. So thinking in terms of planning, coming up on your calendar, on Tuesday, February 3rd, it's going to interrupt everybody. Even though you may not have juniors in your classes, we're going to have to dislocate classes out of the Commons, room 104, room 213, and there's a fourth testing space that's gone out of my head right now. But we're going to need every available iMac and Mac Air during that time period, because they have it set up. This is a 2.5-hour assessment, and they have to take it all at once. And so we'll be using all that. Number one, we'll be using that classroom space. We'll be using that hardware. And this is the first time we've gone through it with this new MIST system. So I know it's not going to go smoothly, and it's nothing. Sarah and Alicia and Jason have gone out of their way to make sure we're ready, and they've got a great plan in place. But we're dealing with a lot of kids, a lot of technology on a system that hasn't been tested with everybody around the state on it at once. So, just history tells us, expect the unexpected. And then also, please put down on your calendars on February 11th, it's our last magnet showcase. Don't know if you guys caught the article on transfers today in the newspaper, but L&N was mentioned as a consistently high-performing school in terms of the number of requests in, and thankfully we don't have a big number of requests out of our school. And other things that I need you to have on your radar as we're going through, first, it's starting with our seniors who are in danger of not graduating. We're encountering a lot of parents. Now, I know, before I even say it, no parent's going to say, well, yeah, the teachers have been contacting me and I haven't done jack about what they're calling about. But we're hearing from a large number of parents that they have not had any contact that their student had a failing grade or failed a test, or heaven forbid, we've come across parents that are swearing up hill and down that they've got a kid failing 5 classes and nobody has contacted them. So I know you're like me, email's the easiest, and so I'll shoot an email and I've got that documentation, but there's no, unless you put the sender, request to verify on the email, there's no way to know that they're getting it or reading it. So if you don't hear back from them that they got the message, it's probably a good practice to either send a second message and put that receipt requested on it, or take a few minutes and pick up the phone and give them a call. And it's kind of like the college thing. A few minutes now will save us a lot of headaches later. We're getting really serious about our revocation, and we're in the middle of those meetings now. So every freshman and sophomore who's on our radar who's failing more than 3 classes, is having an appointment with one of the deans. They're having to complete an action plan about what they're going to do to turn their grades around. We've uncovered a few that are like, well, I'm just biding my time. My parents wanted me to come here, but I don't want to be here. So, that's my plan, is I'm going to fail out. And we're happy to accommodate that request. But we also have to show that before we send them back with no credits, that we did everything we could. So do us a favor, help us help you at the end of the year, so we don't have parents flooding your email box or the supervisor or superintendent's email that we're not working in tandem with our parents to get students through these classes. So help us out. Good news about the retreat. Like I told you last week, we are definite for March 13th, 14th, so we'll do something Thursday evening, and then Friday morning we'll be back at school. And in preparation for that, if you have applied to present at a conference somewhere and you're far enough along and you're thinking you're planning, this would be a great time. You're going to have the opportunity Friday morning to share out with your colleagues, and it would be great to have several of you share out the presentations that you're doing around the country so that we can all learn from each other. And we're going to have multiple formats. There'll be some that'll be an hour long, so it'll be a workshop type thing, and then we're going to do a mini unconference platform. So everybody will be expected to share something for a minimum of 5 minutes. So you want to start putting your thinking cap on what you could possibly share. That's it. I know it was a lot, and again, I'm sorry for the long video this week, but lots going on, lots to be excited about. And as always, I'm just glad that you're the group that I get to come to work with every single day. So keep it up, stay warm this cold week, and we'll see you around the station. Good night, everybody.